I just found out my wife has been telling our friends that my recent promotion at work has changed me and made me arrogant. The truth is, she's sabotaging my career because she's terrified my success means she'll have to confront the fact that she gave up on her own dreams. 6 months ago, after years of hard work, I was promoted to vice president at my firm. It was a dream come true. It came with a significant pay raise, but also more responsibility and some necessary social engagements, client dinners, charity events. My wife Lisa and I used to dream about this kind of success together. But instead of being happy, she became distant and critical. She'd pick fights right before important events, making me late or forcing me to cancel. She started making subtle, belittling comments in front of my colleagues at company parties, joking about how I used to be so much more fun before I got so serious. The final straw was when my boss pulled me aside. He told me carefully that there were whispers about me having a diva complex and that my home life seemed unstable. I was baffled. I've worked hard to stay humble and grounded. I went home that night and confronted Lisa, asking if she'd said anything to anyone. She broke down. It wasn't just a few comments. She had been actively campaigning against me. She'd been having heart-to-hearts with the wives of my colleagues, painting a picture of me as a work-obsessed, neglectful husband who thought I was too good for our old friends. She admitted she was doing it to knock me down a peg. Why? I asked, completely lost. Because you actually did it, she yelled, tears streaming down her face. You went out and got the big career. And what do I have? A job I hate. You're living our dream and it's just your dream now. If you fail, then I don't have to feel like a failure for giving up on my own. I was stunned. She wasn't just unsupportive, she was actively trying to dismantle my achievement because her own insecurities were too painful for her to face. She was willing to sacrifice my career, our financial security, and my reputation to avoid looking at herself in the mirror. I moved into the guest bedroom that night. The trust was obliterated. We started marriage counseling, but the therapist quickly identified that Lisa needed individual help for her deep-seated issues with envy and self-worth. The process was grueling, but it forced a long overdue conversation about our lives. I realized I'd been so focused on my own career climb that I hadn't seen her profound unhappiness, and she was forced to see that her way of dealing with it was deeply destructive and unfair. Something shifted in her after she started her own therapy. The sabotaging behavior stopped. She began to take accountability, even personally calling the colleagues' wives she had misled to retract her statements and apologize, explaining she had been dealing with her own issues. My reputation at work recovered. More than that, my boss later told me he respected how I'd handled a difficult personal situation with grace. Lisa and I are still together, but our marriage is being rebuilt from the ground up. It's quieter, more honest. She's now using a portion of my higher salary to go back to school for the degree she always wanted. The competition between us is gone, replaced by a fragile but genuine support system.